streaming company.
Oh, they tried and failed.
Yeah, that's like super old news. That was last year, and I know it was like a month after they launched it, they closed it. It was funny, but yeah, I agree. They're not one of the big.
They didn't have
Netflix,
anything worth streaming.
Disney. Go ahead, Ladder.
I mean, they
I
should
was
have had
just
like
saying.
infinite amount of content since news are always constant, but they didn't.
Well, no one's gonna want to watch news on a streaming service.
Guys, I've been in the motion picture business, major motion picture, for 25 years. We don't make movies, major movies, huge movies to put in a stream, even though it happens like that. They want to put them in big theaters.
True, but there is a move towards the streaming platform. You cannot deny that.
Dude, I just watched a movie on
Correct.
Netflix with Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy. It was fucking hilarious. It was good. I think a lot of big actors are moving towards the streaming because that's where the money is.
All right, less I think in personal anecdotes, I think, and perhaps more financially incentivized thoughts. I don't know. Have you guys looked at the financials at all? What are your thoughts on those?
Due diligence? What is this?
No, please don't. Oh dear.
Jokes and hopium. That's what we run on, opinion. Come on, man.
Oh no. But look, even the most exciting company can have god awful financials. And the most terrible company can have great financials and be a great investment. So
you know who's really good at due diligence? Veterans.
Yes.
Or go again.
Yes. All right.
All right. So here's if I can say something. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I just wanted to share a company of which I've been holding in the bag that you guys haven't talked about, which is BlackBerry. I got in June of 2021 at around $14 Canadian. It's currently sitting at $5. So I'm currently down more than half, more than 50% on that. So
you've been selling call your position?
No, I have shares.
Yeah, have you been selling covered calls on those shares so you have some chance of making at least a little bit of your money back?
No, I haven't.
Can we get a Doge in the chat for this poor man?
You have at least 100 shares.
So BB is BlackBerry, in case anybody's wondering. BlackBerry, in my personal opinion, is still a good company to invest in. As you guys know, they are trading around $4. Yeah, the highest it's ever been is around $20. So I think it's actually almost bottomed in within some respects. I still think it has some gap up to maybe $6. I don't know when that will be. It needs some really nice news. However, there was an options alert for it that someone bought 4.5 calls near the ask at about 5 cents. So that was pretty interesting. And that's about it. There's nothing really speculative about this stock per se. It's just kind of one of those things that been around for a minute, right? The real question is like, how will it pan out with its competition? Does it have any competition left? Or is it stuck on its own, right? Is it just kind of like stuck in the metaverse?
If they were doing a bunch of patents with AI and self-driving cars, I don't know what happened. If they sold them off or what.
Well, there was supposed to be this rumor, I think a year and a half ago, that they were going to do this big sell-off of a bunch of their patents and it was going to create all this money, and it never happened.
BlackBerry's on my meme stock watch list, and
it's still negative earnings. If you look at the earnings for the last year and a half, it's miss, and it's down, down, down. It's losings, not earnings. Not a fan.
That's BlackBerry, right? They're trying to do like
Correct.
cybersecurity. Is that right? Cybersecurity consulting or something?
Yeah, it looks like that's one of their segments, but I would
Yeah,
not.
that's a tough pivot for a phone maker.
I don't think they're a phone maker anymore. Most of the revenue is from software.
Well, yeah, but when you say the word BlackBerry, what do you think of? Like, I suppose it matters what generation you are.
Their profit has been on the decline since about like 2019.
Stimulus.
I mean, this has to be the wrong macroeconomic environment for dying or flawed business models, right? I mean, you got to think that the plank is getting shorter and shorter with Fed funds rates where it is, and everyone projecting earnings recessions. So I don't know. It seems like a very obvious short, but maybe the volatility is a little bit too much.
I mean, I guess BlackBerry just hasn't been doing good since, the last president who had one left office.
Morning, everyone. Any thoughts on Airbnb?
I hear they had their first positive earnings report, but most of us still hate them.
Good morning,
I
everybody.
guess I can't speak for the group. I hate them.
So Kendi had said something this morning about Yeti. Sent everybody like the higher tier customers shopping at Walmart. They're probably not buying Yetis no more. What do you guys feel about Yeti's earnings this week?
I'm seeing everybody buy those metal Stanleys.
I mean, I feel like when you're at Walmart, when you can buy a cooler or a TV for the same price, which one are you going to go for?
TV.
Yeah, I would say it's an expensive product, but with brand recognition and loyalty for the people that do love it. Sorry if you're on the call, but it's funny. It's like they make it almost like their life. Like Yeti this and Yeti that. It's like, I get it. You like to day drink. Good for you. So that could be positive.
Like the Apple.
How many drinking is a luxury.
Coolers.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lifestyle for some people. And usually they peaked in high school. But sorry, I live around a lot of these people. And yeah, drinking is a big thing for them. So.
But how many coolers do you need if you already got all your coolers if they last forever?
One.
Well, you got to get the new colors and the new stuff.
Well, you got to realize these people get so drunk they forget to bring the cooler inside, and since it's a Yeti cooler, someone's going to grab it off their lawn, so they have to go buy another Yeti cooler.
Gets stolen or somebody.
Yeah,
So
I'm
Yeti coolers.
I've brought this up before. I'm here in Columbus, Ohio, so we have OSU. So tailgating is, yeah, people have time loss on Saturdays. They don't remember it. It's like time traveling. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
For harvesting.
the biggest thing with Yetis was, being able to keep ice for 4 or 5 days and whatnot. That technology, I mean, Ozark's got it. I got a couple of Ozarks. I got an Arctic cooler. It works great. I just feel like you guys are saying, there's definitely a cult behind it, but that cult's going to fade.
And if you look at their chart, it kind of speaks to that, peak pandemic, peak drinking on the driveway and in the backyard. Yeah.
Unless they come up with some sort of institutional use,
All right, so Wingstop is also reporting this week. I don't think it's ever going to get better than it is right now for this company. Something I wanted to talk about was Flex Liquid Natural Gas. They ship natural gas from America to Europe. They've announced a $1 dividend. The ex-dividend date is tomorrow. So if you buy a share, you will get $1 back. It's a quarterly dividend. I am buying a lot of it, and I will flip it, hold it till tomorrow pre-market, so that I'm the record holder. Then I'll sell off some maybe, but on a bullish note, I think I know that Putin is supposed to make a speech. I don't know if he's done it already, but I'm thinking that he is going to be accelerating the war in the North Atlantic for payback of blowing up the Nord Stream. And this is going to cut off the Nordic countries who export liquid natural gas, and it's going to be bullish for American shipping of liquid natural gas, which is Flex Liquid Natural Gas, FLNG.
How is Russia going to cut those other countries off from being able to ship their natural gas?
Literally by sending out warships and blocking the
Yeah,
strait.
that's literally an active war, and a lot of those countries are NATO members, so I don't think that would be the best idea.
Well, you are aware that that Putin has like fully accepted the idea that America is the one who blew up the pipeline, right?
I don't care what they've accepted. What I care is if they're going to do something stupid enough to cause World War III, and I don't think Putin is quite that crazy. I don't think they're going to block the Nordic countries.
Please.
It sounds like the play will be buying the stock and just selling covered calls.
Yes.
Putin has spoken today, Slut, and he basically said Russia's going to step away from all the nuclear deals with us. So that was his recent escalation. So I don't see a direct play onto that.
Okay. Noted he also followed that up by saying he's not looking to start any nuclear strikes and that it would only be in a response. Like his very next sentence was, but the U.S. would have to initiate anything. We're just no longer necessarily bound by that. So don't get all panicky.
Gotcha. Okay, so anyways, and then the other thing I wanted to talk about was Wingstop and how they've got it good right now because of the avian flu is pushing a bunch of chicken onto the market cheap for them. I think that they are overpriced. I think that they are riding high right now, and they have a long windfall. So there's that.
So wait. There's avian flu, so there's dead chickens, so they're getting their chickens cheaper. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, in the supermarket, the amount of chickens they're trying to deplete the population so that they're less contagions or bodies for spreading the flu or whatever. So chicken's really cheap.
They're doing proactive culling of some flocks to prevent the spread of avian flu. And he's right. Even Costco had sales on chicken tenders this weekend in the packs that they sell. So short term, it's going to be cheaper to get chicken, but long term, it'll probably be more expensive.
Yep, and this is what we saw with beef a little while ago, where they had to.
Eggs are still really expensive.
What are you recommending, puts or what?
Yeah, I think I'm more recommending puts. But I've seen a lot of people get burnt by Wingstop trying to time it. Maybe shorts would be better.
We've talked about it before, and it's got over 120 PE. So
I hate the stock.
Not like it. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm just
asymmetrical warfare. Sorry, and then also Coinbase reports this week.
Now there's two investment management companies, Connor, Clark, and Lunn, that invested $575,000 in Wingstop, and Exodus Point Capital Management that also invested in Wingstop. Those were in the past 2 days. So that one sounds like I think I'm just going to stand aside on that one.
I have a put
for the now.
A long-dated put spread on Wingstop, and it's gone up and down and sideways. It's kind of just theta's just eating it. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to get in front of that one.
I think that's what I'm going to do too. Long dated put spread.
Yeah, I think the problem is like it can't make up its mind where it wants to go. So yeah, I'd get it about as far out as you can.
Good morning, guys. I was wondering if anyone had any plays for Lucid today with earnings coming out.
Not today, but I'm double dipping for Friday. I sold cash secured puts and I sold covered calls on Lucid. Let's see, I sold $7.50 cash secured puts and $15 covered calls, expiring Friday.
There, and I posted a comment about Dutch military intelligence claiming that Russian special services are preparing to attack infrastructure targets on gas and oil pipelines, submarine cables, and wind farms in the North Sea.
So I think that with the whole China and Russia speculation, I guess you would say, just realize it's very like loose news, right? It's not, there's no like if we go back in the beginning of 2023, right? We noticed that there was like a lot of speculation about war and about Russia said this, Russia did that. And then you go back to even 2022, you see the same thing happen, right? Obviously, there's a war going on. Obviously, Ukraine is losing land. And obviously, Russia wants to stronghold some things. And there's speculation about Iran and whatnot. I think that the idea, though, at the end of the day, if we keep it market related for just a second, is that the stock market is not going to reflect on necessary news that's going to like switch within 2 seconds, right? It's going to really move on long-term effects, right? So if something happens that's very speculative right now in the news, meaning like an article comes out and people start talking about it, I think that we need to think like long-term, like how can these companies really benefit from a war? And then also which companies are going to be affected by this war. I think that's the best way to like think about this stuff, in my personal opinion. But I digress.
No, you're right, and that's how I think about it.
I got a point to make. Russia has never pulled out of a war until they've lost 500,000 bodies, and they're at about 100,000 right now. So they have a long history of war, and so we got a long ways to go before this conflict's over. They're just going to keep throwing bodies at it.
You're right, to the extent that I heard a report this morning, they were saying that Ukraine is running out of bullets.
Okay, once again, that's speculation. I mean, with all due respect to everyone's like ability to watch the news and suck in the news headlines, I mean, let's focus on the market, right?
Well, but AO, like just the whole play, right, is that Russia's no longer supplying natural gas. Europe has to get it from somewhere. America produces it, so they have to ship it across the sea. So that's the whole play.
Understand that. And then if you listen to the German like energy specialist, I think it was a president or something, back in the wintertime, he said, hey, we're actually fine with the gas. We actually have backup reserves. We actually have enough for the whole year of 2023. I can find a link and post it in the comment section. But like a lot of, I mean, I'm just saying, like, we're running with the news here, like out of all things, you know? And I'm not trying to disregard anyone's input and say that, like, hey, that Russia's not running out of bullets or that there's going to be a gas line that's going to be attacked. I'm not saying that at all. Like, that could possibly happen or be happening. But, like, how does that work long term for, like, these plays? And what companies are going to benefit from that? That's the real question, right?
Well, you're acting like people here aren't trading. Of course they're trading. So those short-term fluctuations are going to impact stocks, and people can try to capture
I always like using metaphors, and sorry, speaking my phrases, but think of it like you don't want to have rabbit ears. You don't want to move on every single little thing that you hear, but you also don't want to be a camel with your head in the sand. So you want to be aware of it. But whether it's the war, whether it's, potential rumors or, channel checks on Apple, like try not to let everything move your pulse, right? Not every little bit of news. And you can't trade on every bit of news. That's not going to get you anywhere. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. So speaking of news, so Chinese stocks, all of the big internet Chinese stocks seem to have gone down together. I think on the reports of some news over the weekend that there's going to be some price wars amongst some of them. Some of them are down really big, like JD's gotten one of the biggest drops that I've seen in some time. Baba's down 3-4% pre-market. I saw Tepper and Burry both filed their quarterly filings, and both had taken pretty large positions in some of the Chinese internet stocks. So I've been in JD for a while, as some of you know. So I'll be selling some puts on JD specifically, maybe Baba. I think this whole price war thing's gotten a little more price action at the downside than I would have expected. But wonder if anyone else has thoughts, given the Chinese tech stocks run in the past, couple of months.
Well, ironically, I think China's our best hope for curbing inflation. If they come back online and they start producing products again and shipping them, it should help to ease up on the cost of goods. So China, it's an irony, but China can do more for U.S. inflation than the Fed can.
Yeah, all this talk of deglobalization is all well and good, but when your prices are double and triple, people are going to go back to what they're used to.
I don't know. With all the war, I was thinking about the North American sphere is going to be good to invest in because it's fairly stable geopolitically. We got America. Pretty dumb.
Does anyone know it, short?
The statement that China inflation is true. They buy it for cheaper. But do keep in mind for the raw materials, they'll probably be more inflationary since they're buying those raw materials before they turn them into whatever product they're selling off for cheaper.
Not if they get them from Russia. The other news I heard this morning is that Russian discounted Russian oil exports to China are increasing exponentially with the opening up of China. So this whole Russian war, the whole war thing is actually helping China get their hands on cheaper raw materials from Russia because they can't sell them in other places. So that's something to take into consideration.
Yeah, the lineage of all the components used to make some final good that's getting shipped from China to the U.S. We kind of stop at what's in the branded packaging, but there's a bunch of stuff from places we don't really like that's making up the components that are going into that final good. So I agree. You just see a shift of supply from friendly nations to less friendly nations as people try to find margin.
We've only got 7 minutes till the market's open, guys. Does anyone have any plays that they're doing?
Yeah, I'm flipping FLNG to get that dollar dividend.
Yeah, I like FLNG too.
Home Depot is down 4% because of I'm guessing because of their earnings. I think we were expecting more than that, weren't we?
Revenue miss plus muted guidance.
Did you say the ex-dividend date for FLNG is today?
It's tomorrow, so you can buy today as long as you hold them through the night. Hold it through the night, and then have them buy pre-market tomorrow. You're good.
Roger.
Are you investing? Or are you taking the cash?
It's really tempting. I probably will hold them longer than just a day. To be honest, I really do like the stock, and I think that liquid natural gas has basically bottomed, and it's going to go up from here. They can't produce it at this price for a loss for much longer, so I think they're going to start putting more pressure on raising the price of the commodity. And FLNG is not exposed to the spot price of natural gas, thank God, because it's been tanking. But they do benefit from they will benefit from the price going back up.
I like them with a big bottom.
Yeah, Boyle is down 8% pre-market. Damn.
Yeah. This is why I was like, don't play the commodity, don't play the spot price. Like, figure out a side play for this whole thing, and this is it.
Does anyone know how Walmart did? I'm having trouble finding the earnings.
Beat revenue, beat earnings, muted guidance.
Oh, is that why they're down a little bit?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if I was watching Home Depot in the pre-market when they announced that they're going to spend $1 billion on wages, it went from 4% to 6% down. It's come back now, though, just a little bit. So the market did not like that versus where we see layoffs. Market, you're shocked. Your share price goes up. Oh, you're going to spend more. Share price goes down.
Yeah, and they're increasing their dividend by 10%, quarterly dividend by 10%.
And that smoothed it off.
Was there any insight into like home builder slowdown?
Flat earnings they're expecting this year due to increase in cost of goods sold. So I think they're writing this year off, except for maybe the holidays or something happens in construction.
I know we were trying to use this as like a leper's bell for future, like for construction and stuff, and see if the people were building up their houses so they could flip them.
Leper's bell. I haven't heard that before. That's excellent.
Canary in a coal mine. It's another metaphor for it.
No, I like leper's bell. That's better.
I like jargon. Jargon is good.
Well, they used to put bells on lepers so you could hear them coming, so you could get out of their way because they were contagious. That's where it comes from.
I stumped opinion with mine last week. The getting long in the tooth.
Long in the tooth.
You didn't know what that one. Yeah, the call was getting that way. Not today.
Sorry, sorry I wasn't on here earlier, guys. It's some internet issues. What do we think of Pure Cycle? I mean, I mentioned it over here. Fell off a cliff, pretty much. I mean, what are we all doing with it now? Thinking about taking profit. Sorry, was I interrupting something important? I thought we were just discussing idioms or something.
Yeah, there was nothing important. Nothing we discuss is ever that important.
And we're just a hamster on a wheel.
But you said Pure Cycle is what you were saying? What's going on with them? Did you buy puts on them?
Yeah, I mentioned it here earlier, and they're down 25% over the course of the last week or so. They're starting to get pretty low, and I'm, trying to figure out what to do next. They're going to run out of cash in about 5.5 months. They have $1 billion market cap, so basically what happened was they SPAC'd. Everyone just threw money at them, and they've been coasting off the SPAC for the last year.
So we don't know if there's a support for them to hit or not then, right?
They're down 4% pre-market again. They're down 4% pre-market.
Yeah, I know. It's exciting stuff. Yeah, and we don't know. I don't know. It had been on my short list for over a year, and I had not taken a bearish position against them simply because they raised so much cash in the SPAC that I was like, it doesn't matter. I could take a bearish position, I could buy puts, or I could directly short them. It doesn't matter because they just have dump trucks full of $100 bills, so it didn't really matter. But now they're starting to get towards the end of that money, and
they're down to their last dump truck, huh?
Yeah, down to the last dump truck. Interestingly enough, when I investigated these guys in the past, and if you look at this company and people who have investigated them in the past, they are very aggressive when someone starts talking about them. Like the CFO will directly reach out to people to talk about them and stuff. And I'm like, this is just a little bizarre, man. It just seems a little weird. So I guess,
market's open.
Yeah.
Never go fishing for compliments. It never works out.
Who are we talking about? My internet cut out.
We're talking about Pure Cycle and the bearish position I had against them, and still do have against them. They're down 4% pre-market. They continue to head downward.
I mean, with the fact that they're still going downward, would you be able to roll over those puts to further down the line, or?
Oh, the cost to borrow wasn't terrible, so I directly shorted them. I just straight up short sold them. Yeah, I got a little mean.
So right now, as long as they're still sliding downward, you can just keep on letting it go, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking so. I mean, I guess there was, if you look up in 2021, they first landed on my radar in 2021 when Hindenburg Report came out with a report against these guys. And unlike the typical Hindenburg reports, it didn't tank the stock price because, again, they had so much money. It didn't matter. The SPAC was so successful. Investors were valuing it at 250 times what its book value was. So it didn't matter, right? I mean, Hindenburg report was probably accurate. It just, the market irrational exuberance didn't reflect the reality, right?
Would you say you're backing this stock?
Who's backing it?
You are.
No, he's shorting it. He said it was a SPAC.
Yeah, he's going in naked, bare backing it.
Oh, bear backing it. I get it. No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, I hear you. No, I've got a short collar on it.
You think it's too late to jump in on some shorts?
Well, that's why I bring it up. I wanted other people's opinions. I don't know. That's why I brought it up. I was like, well, it's sort of tanking. Is it just going to keep going?
What's their earnings looking like? Are they positive earnings, negative earnings? If they're burning cash, I'm assuming are they remotely close to positive?
They're right on the line from what I can see.
They have a negative 12.1 PE ratio.
Sorry, what was the ticker?
Pure Cycle, PCT. They have $50 million in sales, give or take. This is their third time attempting to commercialize this technology in the last 17 years. They've tried to commercialize this technology with other companies before and have failed. Each time that it fails, they reshuffle their board of directors, their C-suite. It's the same 4 guys that just keep showing up in different companies. And so it's like, okay, now you're the CFO this week, right? I'll try it again. So, I mean, the only dark horse I really see here is there are some analyst firms like Roth that seem to have enjoyed the money from the SPAC, and they could come out with some sort of retarded price target and say, well, it's go $50 a share as our new price target. And some people might actually listen to these analysts, and if they do, they're idiots, because there's nothing here in the company's actual operations to suggest that kind of valuation.
So,
What's the
Scald, is
stock again?
this
Sorry.
Scald, is this a company that just keeps rebranding itself over and over, paying the CEOs a bunch of super high salary to raise cash, and then restarting the process? Essentially, is that what we got here?
Yes, and that's pretty much what the Hindenburg report called out. I mean, if you read the Hindenburg report on these guys from 2 years ago, yeah, that's the racket. You got it.
What's the ticker?
The ticker is Pierce Cycle, PCT.
Okay.
Papa, Charlie,
Tango.
Now remember, if everyone gets a bunch of puts, you create upwards pressure. Don't Carvana yourself.
The ticker that gives out the dollar dividend is Flex Liquid Natural Gas, FLNG, Foxtrot Lima, November Golf.
What else did the Hindenburg
10
report
comments.
say?
10 comments asking the same question. I went into the VR chat. I went into the metaverse over the weekend. It's pretty crazy in there. I also did some research on something called DOT, which is an interoperable blockchain. I'm
Polkadot?
Yeah, Polkadot.
Polkadot.
I'm not an expert at all in any of that, but it's looking pretty cool. So I'd like to explore it further, and if anybody has any input, I'd like to hear it now. Scald, looking at you.
Yeah, so you want my opinion on DOT? I mean, sorry, what exactly?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Do you have an opinion on DOT?
I don't think it's any better than any of the other cryptos.
I'm looking at a comparison between DOT and Litecoin, and their charts are almost identical. I mean, you could literally replace one with the other, and it would be identical.
Isn't Polkadot's like value prop in being like an interoperable cryptocurrency or something like that? Isn't Chainlink like that too? I mean, I'm trying to figure out like what differentiates these guys.
So visually, like to visualize it, Polkadot is different than other coins. So what it is it's sort of like a docking station. And what smaller projects can do is they buy Dotcoin, which gives them a staking right to basically swap their cryptocurrency for another using DOT as sort of a hub or like a router or switch. You can almost think of it like that. So
That's the same thing with like any other crypto, though. You know, with the Binance Smart Chain and the Ethereum network, they're all on.
You just described Ethereum.
Well, I mean, Polkadot was created by a guy that was created by Gavin, right? One of the co-creators of Ethereum. So, I mean, yeah.
It just, I'm not going to be able to explain this very well, but it just seems like it's going to
probably should invest in it.
It's going to be, well, I'm still learning, but I wanted to see if anybody else has heard of it. But it seems like it's like another level above the rest.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few that are trying to create these like overledger. This sort of cross compatibility became a buzzword in late 2021. And some of the coins really pumped around then, but I don't know. It's kind of lost its attraction.
What's the deal with it used to be that Ethereum had a higher beta than Bitcoin. You'd see it move at to a higher degree on the upside and the downside than Bitcoin, but it seems like it's the other way around right now. You know what that is?
Altcoins are just typically more volatile than like Bitcoin, just because Bitcoin has such a large market cap.
Yeah, but right now Bitcoin's moving more than Ethereum.
Yeah, maybe today, but tomorrow it could be the app. It depends on the day.
No, look over the past like 3 months, man. Like,
yeah, no, I've noticed this. Yeah, typically the altcoins have a higher implied volatility than basically like Bitcoin. So if you look at Bitcoin versus the IV of altcoins, the altcoins will have a higher IV. But if you look at Ethereum over the last few months, it seems to have a lower volatility. And I don't necessarily have an answer for that, other than the fact that it coincides really well with when Ethereum moved from proof of work to proof of stake. So it's possible that that's going to decrease the volatility of Ethereum. We don't know. This is really the first time a major migration like this has happened in a crypto. And so if that's the driver of this, we're just going to have to watch it and see what happens.
yeah, I mean, I feel like it went pretty successfully. I've heard nothing but good things about the switch to proof of stake. But like I'm staked up in Coinbase on some Ethereum too. But I don't know, it's not cooperating with me.
So I wanted to
Bitcoin run.
I also wanted to touch on Coinbase earnings this week. With FTX out of the picture and with Binance being under pressure from impending regulation, Coinbase kind of is in a really special position here where their competitors have been knocked out and knocked down. I don't know if they're going to hit earnings. It would be hard to convince me that they're going to beat earnings, but I have to look into it more, of course. I do feel like they have a lot of growth potential, though, and they can sell that. And the speculation of the stock will be driving it up. And does anybody have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I did talk about how these crypto failures initially decrease the price of Coinbase, and then we see Coinbase pump afterwards because there's less competitors in the pool. And that's exactly what we saw with the FTX thing. But we saw it before with Celsius. We saw it before with Voyager. What's interesting is that effect seems to be magnified each time another one falls. So the dip seems to be more pronounced and the rise seems to be higher relative to the dip. My thought is this just represents the fact that there's less and less total competitors in the pool. So people are like, is Coinbase next every single time? And every time it's not Coinbase next, Coinbase pumps even more off of that low. So, I mean, my supposition would be if Binance gets slapped out of the U.S. market, it'll happen again with Coinbase.
Well, I don't know about getting slapped out of the out of the United States market, but Coinbase is at a competitive advantage at this point because they, from what I understand, they didn't over leverage themselves nearly as much as Binance did, or nearly as much as FTX did. Of course, we all know how that went. But
yeah, and
Binance,
with them being a publicly traded company too, a bullish sentiment is they've got to use Big Four accounting. They have to show what's on their books way more than all these other firms that Scald's talked about how they get the bump from it. So they are becoming kind of like more of the safe haven. Someone brought up Robinhood. Do you think they were going to get a bump from the FTX? And we all kind of shot that down for this quarter. But I would think Coinbase would be more of a landing spot just in volume too with the closures last quarter. So I kind of agree with your statement.
Now, is this long term? Is this long term advantage going to be able to be turned and wrapped up into an earnings play?
Yeah, I was going to say the fact that they have to answer to the street too because they're a publicly traded company. You know, they're living by every 3 months on their financials, so they have a bigger push to monetize it. Even I would say they even have more pressure than other exchanges. I hate to use that word because you're supposed to self custody, but it's true. For all the other exchanges, they probably have more of that pressure. I would think looking at the efficiencies and trying to not just gain the share, gain some margin on it too.
Yeah, the only problem is like they're so attached to like the performance of crypto, and specifically like the really big cap currencies, that like if there's a cyclical downturn in space and they're still trying to make their numbers for the quarter, I mean, good luck. You know, they have to get that from like subscription revenue or something like that. They're never going to be able to make that up relative to what they are trying to capture in commissions on trading. So it's kind of tough. It's like they're not quite an oil stock, but they've got the same sort of attribution to the underlying commodity as oil stocks do. But oil stocks have dividends to help you wait through the cyclical part of their stock performance, whereas Coinbase, I mean, they're not going to issue a dividend ever, probably.
I think Coinbase has a lot of growth potential. They're primarily a U.S. company, and if they can, in the future, try to move into the African market or the Asian market and take a piece out of Binance, I think there's a lot of money there.
Another part of the problem with Coinbase right now is it's wrapped up with all the other crash stocks that got sold off really hard last year and were the first to rally this year. So like if there's a pullback in trash stocks, they'll get lumped in whether or not they're trash.
Yeah, I think this is actually related to the crypto crash and little bull run that we've been seeing recently.
No, I agree with him though. Yeah, last year's losers were January's winners, right? I mean, tenfold it felt like, not really, but it was definitely, there was some momentum behind that, whether it be the 30-day window after the tax loss harvesting or people just saying, whoa, I'm off sides here. So I almost brought that up too. Is the recent run in price, is that already priced in what we're talking about, how they've gained share in the last quarter plus the rise in Bitcoin's price? Has that already been priced in? Because if they miss, there'll be a bloodbath tonight, right? They miss bad.
Yeah, it's self-reinforcing, right? Crypto was lumped in with that, the unprofitable tech and all that. They got hit the hardest. So the Coinbase fundamentalists will look at that and say, look, crypto's going up, Coinbase should go up. But it's possible there's correlation, not causation there. Could always just sell IV.
AMC is almost up 10%.
Nothing but fundamentals, boys. Nothing but fundamentals. And ladies.
Emphasis on fun. Real companies make real money, baby.
Fundamentals without fun.
You also need mental in there as well, but let's ignore that part.
Do real companies
You would
make
have to
money?
be mental to fund AMC.
Yeah, and also, do real companies make money? Aren't we up to almost 20% of companies that are publicly listed being zombie companies now that have negative cash flow? Or like total burn of operations is greater than their profits. So, I mean, I would say 80% of real companies make money is probably a more accurate statement. You gotta look that up, guys. Sometimes the rise of zombie companies This really started to kick off after the 07-08 meltdown. And it's that number has slowly been creeping up year over year, month over month, of the number of companies that are in the category.
So this is the zombie apocalypse we've been waiting for.
Yeah, you know what kills that is the 5.5-6% Fed funds rate. That's what kills those off.
Yeah, we can only hope, right?
So meme stock's bad now? I'm confused.
You guys ever seen a show called Jupiter's Legacy? It's not really that great of a show. It's like this superhero show. There's this one scene in the first episode where the first episode occurs in 1929, and there's these two brothers and dad arguing. And one of the brothers is like, we can't go out there buying other steel mills. The Fed just raised interest rates a full percent. And then the brother and the dad are like, no, we're just going to jack ourselves to the tits of leverage and buy out a company like in 1929. Right before the meltdown. Like one brother's just going all about Fed's funds rates. The funniest thing. I was like, I need to turn this into a meme for WallStreetBets.
Next scene, they're eating dust for dinner. Literal dust.
Speaking of memes for Wall Street Bets, I'm glad you said so, Scald. I have a meme for Wall Street Bets based on my last trade. My most recent trade, which did not get traded and ended up expiring worthless. That's right. My fucking Dole $12.50 calls dated for 2/17 expired worthless. So your boy finally lost. Your boy finally lost one. Congratulations, everybody. I'm going to be posting a meme in honor of this on Wall Street Bets right the fuck now. So if y'all want to check it out, go ahead.
Lost born, baby.
Yeah, 90% of options expire worthless. And fun fact, that includes your options. So keep that in mind.
So if you just keep getting 10 baggers, you can beat the odds.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, what is that? Like you had 4 or 5 winners and then your first loss, something like that?
Yeah, something about that. I had like 5 before I ended up losing. But that wasn't even the best part. Oh man, where's Alexander? I was gonna ask him if he made money on those puts. I called out MicroStrategy that Friday, if y'all remember that. Or no. This was after. Okay, so anyway, I called out MicroStrategy puts, and Alexander went in on him. I couldn't get him, but he fucking made a fucking killing on those puts. So I'm no longer gonna fucking be iffy whenever my Tartstrology tingle comes into effect.
It is strong with you.
I have a question for Rad.
Que pasa?
So you have said about 10 minutes ago, you have said that, I quote, remember, when you buy a bunch of puts, you create upward pressure. Don't Carvana yourself or something like that. Could you please explain, and also explain if puts are hedged, if that holds true? Thanks.
Can I defer to someone smarter than me? I just do the catchphrases.
Yeah, we just asked you. Need the phrase. Talk about X.
You have said that. You explain.
I could. Let me take a shot at it.
Whoa! Wow.
We have a lawyer in here. Watch out.
So the big firms, the people who can actually move the stock price where they want it, they sell the options. And when they sell enough put options, and those put options start going in the money, and they start losing on that side of the trade, they will boost the stock price up so that they expire worthless and they can keep their premiums and burn you out.
That is if those...
When you got a lot of money, you don't like to risk it.
It's hedged. So if they are not replicated in any way, they are not hedged in any way.
well, there's no way to determine whether or not a put or a call is hedged. It's all speculation at the end of the day.
A lot of
My point.
A lot of the
My
time,
point.
a put or a call is the actual hedge. Right?
Okay. Yes, thank
Does
you.
that make sense? I mean, you're go ahead, Flood.
Generate.
My point is when somebody sells you a put
This
and
a
they hedge
hedge?
the property in a way that they sell the stock, then in that case this creates a downward pressure.
So you gotta.
I agree with that. I think that the people who are selling the options are running beta neutral portfolios and they're shorting the stock and they're arbitraging interest rate.
Okay, guys. So we're gonna, because of the short time that we have here, just let you guys know that we're gonna have to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes, just due to some technical things that we're having on the Twitch and the YouTube stream.
Gotcha.
So we got 5 minutes.
Let me just say this. Like the first thing that you should learn about options is that buying an option is a way to hedge your underlying shares. It is not meant to gamble. So when you say the option is hedged, it's not you mean your shares are hedged with an option. This is how it should be.
I mean,
I'm talking about replicating
I thought this was a casino.
the portfolio with stocks.
I could not understand anything that just said.
He basically said, "How do you?" I think he said something about options and hedging it with your portfolio if you had stocks in it. All right, let me just say this: if you look up Hardy Rection, that's HARDY and then REK, and then SHIN. So I had to think there for a second. He's got some great information on how this actually works. So, and if you don't catch that, go ahead.
About this.
I think he's just asking the question rhetorically because he's trying to catch somebody out in something that he doesn't agree with what they said.
Okay, well
I
then,
think that's what it is. So we could
that's
probably
fine.
drop it because I
That's
think
okay. I
maybe
think
he's got a point. He's trying
It's
to
fine.
make that
We can
he's
check him
not
out
gonna
tomorrow.
come off of.
Please come back
Yeah.
tomorrow. Please come back tomorrow and reiterate your question. There's also some great tasty trades videos that I've heard people recommend multiple times on here. But yeah, Scald, go ahead.
I would like to just call out, if you're interested in this kind of thing, I highly recommend the book, The Option Traders Hedge Fund. It's by Dennis Chen and Mark Sebastian, and it talks about how, if you're an options trader, you can still hedge all your positions by using varieties of options. And so, I mean, if you want to go and read about it, I highly recommend that particular book. I think it should be required reading. To be honest, we should start a book club.
Options
to be
Island?
honest,
What is it called? What's the title?
it's called The Option Traders Hedge Fund,
Okay.
and it is by Dennis A. Chen and Mark Sebastian, and it's a great read, and it'll help you, sort of better understand the risk of what you're doing when you're trading options. And how to mitigate those risks, which I think we would all like.
Yeah, that's way better than my suggestion, which is play options and lose a whole bunch, and then you learn that way.
And before I get thrown on the flames for dodging questions, I just want to say I'm actually doing some work stuff, so I don't really have time to explain a bunch of things, but also there are far smarter people than me when it comes to options, so I don't want to go into a big discussion about something just for Scald to chime in and be like, that's not how that works. Just putting out one name who I know knows far more than
All right,
I
can we
do.
move
So
on real quick? We got 2 minutes left. What do you guys
Yeah.
think the spy's going to be at this week? I think
Ignore
it's going to have a hard time going up.
Ignore them, Rad. By the way, anyhow.
There are some great earnings this week. Very exciting companies. I'm thinking SPY actually probably goes neutral to up.
Well, didn't it go up last week on retail numbers? But then you have Walmart reporting bleak outlook for this year. I've got a feeling that it should go back down as a result, right? Walmart's a proxy for the U.S. economy as a whole, at least for retail spending.
and then Lucid's got earnings tomorrow, so I got 3 days left on those. Wait a minute, no, a little more than I got a week and a half left on those fucking calls. Those super far out of the money calls for Lucid, the $35 ones. But let's see if I could trade them sometime this week or next. If not, I'm probably just gonna lose my ass on them. I don't care.
I think PCE drops on Friday, and the Fed watches that, I think, a little more closely than the CPI. So you probably see some volatility on that announcement.
Well, it's 10 a.m., guys. It looks like we're going to be... What's our technical issue here? Are we switching over to a stream of opinion, playing some sort of video game, or what's the...
Yeah, something like that.
That was a joke.
Yeah, something like that. No, it's running a little dry this morning, to be fair. So we're just taking one of those things where tomorrow we're going to come with the energy, hopefully everybody, and some plays, and not just talk about China and Russia all day.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was my bad. I slept in this morning. I should have came through with the Tardstrology. I didn't do Tardstrology this morning. It was my bad for sleeping in. I should have brightened everybody's day with a little Tardstrology.
We appreciate you, Mass. Thank you so much. Wait, did we get the Tardstrology for today?
No, we did not get Tardstrology
Can we
today.
get it real
Opinion,
quick
I
before we
slept
sign
in.
off? Can we get it, or is it game over?
Oh, it's game over. As soon as the sun comes out, it's game over. I can't get no Tardstrology. I got to wake up early to get Tardstrology.
All right, so hopefully everybody brings their A game tomorrow. No pun intended, including myself. And we will all be ready for Wednesday morning in the market. And thank you, Opinion, as always. And Wall Street Bet and all the audience members out there, we see you. Don't worry. Thanks, Scald. Thanks, everybody. And we will see you guys tomorrow. In Opinion, if you want to say anything, go ahead, sir.
Oh, no, I don't have anything to say other than thanks for coming out. We'll see you all tomorrow, and don't lose too much money. Cheers for now, guys. Bye.